Having multiple sclerosis is a lot like having bad Wi-Fi in your own body. Some days you've got 5 bars, you're streaming, you're downloading, you're multitasking like a champ. Other days, you're just buffering. You're standing in the kitchen, staring at the refrigerator, and the little spinning wheel of death is just going around and around in your head. And you can't remember if you came in for a sandwich or to ask the mayonnaise for directions. So going to the neurologist is like calling tech support. You sit there, you explain the problem, and you just hope they don't ask you to turn yourself off and on again. Because let me tell you, I've tried that. It just leads to a nap. A very, very long nap. So there I was, sitting in my neurologist's office. You know the one. The chairs are always a little too low, the magazines are from 2017, and there's a poster on the wall of a skeleton that seems to be judging your life choices. I had my list of questions ready. Most of them were pretty standard. Why do my legs feel like they're filled with bees? Or is it normal to forget my own name when I sneeze? But I had a big one this time. The showstopper. The one I'd been practicing in the car on the way over. I was about to ask my doctor for something huge, something I'd read about on the internet. And we all know the internet is where all the best, most reliable medical advice lives. I was feeling bold. I was feeling brave. I had on my good socks, the ones without the holes. You have to wear good socks to the doctor. It's a sign of respect. It says, I am a responsible adult who can handle serious medical discussions, and also my feet aren't gross. I clutched my purse, which contained my list, a half-eaten granola bar, and probably a few stray Legos. It was go time. The internet is a wild place for medical advice. One website will tell you to drink celery juice and you'll be cured. The next one says you need to be bitten by a special kind of Amazonian bee. Another one is convinced the answer is to only eat beige-colored foods on Tuesdays. It's a rabbit hole of confusion. You start by looking up MS fatigue, and 3 hours later you're reading a blog by a guy who says he cured his MS by communicating with squirrels. And you start to wonder. You think, well, I haven't tried talking to squirrels yet. Maybe that's the key. So asking for stem cells felt relatively normal compared to that. I said it with confidence, as if I were ordering a latte. Yes, I'll have 1 stem cell transplant, please, with extra hope, and hold the side effects. My doctor just stared at me. He didn't say anything for a long time. A really long time. It was one of those silences that is so loud, you can hear your own hair growing. I could hear the clock on the wall ticking. Tick, tock. I think I even heard that skeleton poster sigh. He just looked at me, his pen frozen over my chart. His expression was a perfect mix of confusion, concern, and did she just say what I think she said? It was the same look my dog gives me when I try to explain the rules of Monopoly to him. He was trying to be professional, but I could see the wheels turning in his head. He was processing. He was buffering. Finally, he blinked. Twice. He put his pen down, leaned back in his chair, and steepled his fingers. Oh no, the finger steeple. That's the universal sign for, we need to have a serious talk, and you're probably not going to like it. The doctor then launched into what I can only describe as the Mount Everest of medical explanations. He was using all these big words. Words that have like 7 syllables. He was talking about immunoablation and myeloablative protocols. My brain just shut down. You know that feeling when you're watching a foreign film without subtitles? That was me. I was just nodding and smiling, hoping he wouldn't ask me any questions. My brain heard blah 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 chemotherapy, blah blah blah, significant risk, blah blah blah, not for everyone. It was like Charlie Brown's teacher was my neurologist. He even drew a diagram on a piece of paper. It had a lot of arrows and circles. It looked like a very confusing football play. So we take the stem cells from here, he said, pointing to a circle. And then we ablate the immune system here, pointing to another circle, and then we reinfuse them here. I just stared at the drawing. I think I understood the arrows. They meant things were going somewhere. That was about it. I was pretty sure if he quizzed me on it later, I would fail spectacularly. I wanted to tell him, can you explain it to me like I'm a golden retriever? Use small words. And maybe throw a ball for me afterward? The best part was when he started talking about insurance. Oh, insurance. The magical gatekeeper of all modern medicine. He explained that getting an insurance company to approve something like this is a full-time job. You need binders full of paperwork. You need letters. You need appeals. You need to basically prove that you are simultaneously sick enough to need this very intense procedure, but also healthy enough to survive it. It's a riddle. It's a paradox wrapped in red tape. Okay, let's pause right here. How are you all doing? Are you enjoying this little trip into my medical misadventures? I hope so, because I'm having fun telling it, even if living it was a little, well, awkward. Look, if you're laughing right now or even just smiling a little bit, do me a favor. Right down there, see that little thumb, the one that's pointing up? Go ahead and give that a click. A little boop. It doesn't hurt, I promise. It tells the internet people, hey, this lady is funny. More people should watch her talk about her weird doctor's appointments. It's like a virtual high five, and I love high fives. And while you're down there, you'll see another button. It says subscribe. So there we are. I'm pretending to understand complex medical science, and my doctor is pretending to believe that I understand. He closed my chart, leaned forward with a kind smile, and said, look, it's a very aggressive, very risky therapy, and honestly, for you right now, it would be like using a sledgehammer to kill a fly. I just stared at him. A sledgehammer to kill a fly. Of all the medical analogies he could have used, that was the one that landed. And I started to laugh. Not a little chuckle, a full-on deep belly laugh. The poor doctor looked startled for a second, then he started to laugh too. The tension in the room just broke. Here we were, talking about my damaged nervous system and chemotherapy and life-altering procedures, and we were laughing. Because sometimes that's all you can do. You can get buried in the fear and the confusion and the what-ifs, or you can find the absurdity in it all. The absurdity of asking for a new body like you're ordering a new phone. The absurdity of trying to understand medical jargon when your brain is buffering. The sledgehammer and the fly. It was the perfect punchline. He then told me about other options. New medications that were less like a sledgehammer and more like a really, really effective fly swatter. Things that were manageable. Things that were hopeful. Things that didn't involve wiping out my entire immune system and hoping for the best. And as I walked out of that office, I didn't feel defeated. I felt lighter. I had walked in with a crazy internet-fueled idea, and I was walking out with a realistic plan and a really good story to tell. I didn't get the stem cell transplant I thought I wanted, but I got something better. I got a dose of reality, mixed with a healthy scoop of laughter. And that's the thing about this MS journey, or any journey with a body that likes to keep you on your toes. It's scary, yeah, and it's confusing, but it can also be funny. You have to find the humor in the ridiculous moments. You have to be able to laugh at yourself when you ask your doctor for a new set of batteries. Because hope isn't always found in the big, dramatic, futuristic cures. Sometimes hope is found in a good laugh with a doctor who gets it. Hope is knowing that even if your Wi-Fi is spotty, you're still connected. And sometimes hope is just having a really, really good punchline.